Because I'm working in this field in real estate in Dubai, for me it would be easier to just to have a basic conversation with someone, with some agent, and realize, is that the person I would like to deal or no?
And nowadays, majority of the cases, the answer is? On today's episode of Primetime Primo, we'll be looking into Mr. Mantas from Lithuania and his experience in the market.
Below 1 million or slightly above 1 million. No one is really going for crazy 10, 20, 30 million dirham mansions,
Right. Next, we will be talking about the Lithuanian domestic market and clients from Lithuania that are purchasing in Dubai.
Start getting many more clients, specifically coming from Lithuania. Not necessarily Lithuanians living in Lithuania, but Lithuanians living in other Europe countries.
Which developers should you sell to your client and why? There's so many launches, so many agents. Back in 21, 22, I could keep track of every single launch that's coming from, let's say 20 developers. It was easy to, as a real estate specialist, where should you work? With the developers or as an individual broker?
The different people, different mentality, different way of working. Obviously, development is slightly different way of working, which is dealing mostly with the brokerage.
Should I, as an agent, be focused on what's best for my client or for my pocket? What do you think happened with this client when he went to another broker and told him I have a 24 million dirham unit that I want you to sell? What do you think the response was? Yeah, give it to me. I'll list it for you, man. It's okay. I'll do it for you. He did not check if this this agent is the area specialist, if he knows how to deal with these kind of units. Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode of Primetime Primo. Today I'm joined by one of my old friends, Mr. Mantas. Mr. Mantas, how are you doing today?
Hi everyone, good to be here. Thanks for the invitation, of course. I'm good. Thanks, Ali. Thanks.
I love your tie. What's with that? It's a
Well,
very unique pattern.
a tie is that's actually a present from one of my dear friend from London.
Okay.
I really like this tie, so I specifically pick for
For
today's
the
podcast.
audience. And what's on it? You got cat. What is that? Cows? Cats?
Cows and
Cows.
trees. Yeah.
Very good.
So
Very interesting.
really express my roots, that's where I'm coming from.
And where is it that you're from, Mantas?
Lithuania.
Lithuania. That's very interesting. I haven't met a lot of Lithuanians in my lifetime. As a matter of fact, I think you and one of our other colleagues, Mikla, are the only Lithuanians that I've met. But how is the Lithuanian market generally when it comes to real estate?
Well, I can just tell you recent numbers that it's been published even on Lithuanian TV that more than 30,000 Lithuanians visited United Arab Emirates, Dubai, in a past year,
Wow.
which is really shows that the Lithuanians showing massive interest to move in here, getting interested into the Dubai's real estate. Actually, we start getting many more clients, specifically coming from Lithuania. Not necessarily Lithuanians living in Lithuania, but Lithuanians living in other Europe countries, who's doing business, who's working abroad. So they showing massive interest into purchasing real estate.
Right.
In
So,
Dubai.
but what about the domestic market itself? Generally, the consumers in Lithuania, how is their purchasing power when it comes to buying something in Dubai? Like the ones who are living in Lithuania and there actively. Could you say that they have a very strong purchasing power to buy properties in Dubai? I'll give you an example. For example, someone living in New York, if they want to buy something that is very expensive, or in Tokyo or in Singapore, and this gives them a lot of purchasing power to buy in Dubai, because luxury properties in Dubai are a lot more affordable when it comes to these metropolitan cities. Would you say it's the same case for Lithuania? Is property more expensive there domestically per square foot than it is in Dubai?
Well, compared to Lithuania, in Dubai is much more expensive.
So Dubai is more expensive than Lithuania?
Absolutely, absolutely. I know compared to the world's market, Dubai is not the most expensive, even though it's very luxury city and a country. Well, at least becoming, right? And it's been for past decade, I would say. But compared to Lithuania, no. So that's why I will move straight to another kind of point that Lithuanians, most of them, whoever is planning to buy the property nowadays in Dubai, they choosing starting level. I would say around 1 million,
Right.
just below 1 million or slightly above 1 million. No one is really going for crazy 10, 20, 30 million dirham mansions, you know.
Right. And normally that's how it starts with an emerging market to Dubai, because I would say comfortably that Lithuania is a new market to Dubai. They've never been high in the transactions, and we haven't seen that many customers from Lithuania. And as a matter of fact, that gives you a very unique selling point. So generally speaking, in the market, purchases of that caliber have slowed down a little bit, 10, 20, 30 million. And most of the market's demand is normally for properties that are below the 3 to 4 million dirham mark. But do you see a very good future with the Lithuanian market, with the ones that are coming, the customers? Are they happy with what they buy?
Well, absolutely. I mean, so far, whoever I had the chance to deal with, everyone were very happy with the way the things are here, you know, simply. So I think also, I assume my personal opinion that when it was this Russian wave, right, and everyone was coming here and going like crazy left and right and starting from million up to, I don't know, 50 million, 100 million, that showed to the world that, oh, okay, something happened in that part of the world, and they came to Dubai specifically, right?
Right.
So that's clear picture, clear idea for everyone that, oh, okay, well, that's a good place to invest, right?
Correct.
So I think that affected in a positive way very much that even Lithuanians started to
Come on the wave and jump
exactly.
on the trend.
And you know, I'll tell you something to add to that. I've been talking to many sales managers, directors from other companies, right? And for past year, I would say, when it was already slowing down with the Russian wave, right? And everyone was saying that, most of them, especially that sales that they used to do in the past 2 years, let's say, I'm talking numbers, it used to be less sales, but more money.
More volume per sale.
Exactly,
Right.
because of the big scale, big tickets
High
properties,
ticket purchases, correct.
right? And nowadays is because people, many first-time buyers, 1 million, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, which is considered in Dubai as a kind of
Low ticket, yeah.
low ticket, right? So now they're doing many more of those, but still end of the month come into the same numbers.
Correct.
What
yeah.
they used to be for past couple of years.
That is correct. Yeah, I agree with you, and I actively monitor the land department sites and property monitor and places where we have access to transactions. And you are absolutely right. I haven't seen a deviation in the sales volume. It's just that the market has shifted from high ticket to low ticket with higher sales numbers. You're completely right about that. Montas, there's something I want to talk about. Let's go back a bit in our history together. So just to give you guys an idea, Montas and I, he's actually one of the first agents I worked with around 4 years ago, and he was a specialist in Dubai Creek Harbor. And the guy had like 100 units in Dubai Creek Harbor. He had anything you wanted. Anything you wanted, you just call Montas and you go to him. And if you remember back then how many units were available, and Dubai Creek Harbor was more or less considered like a dead stock area. There was so much availability direct from the developer. With you, I mean, like half the market you had. And you see the change now, right? Like back then, like how much was the unit that we saw? Was a 2-bedroom back then?
Well, let's start from the even more beginning.
Okay.
So I had the chance myself to live in Dubai Creek Harbor, especially at that time when I was working.
You should have
there.
locked yourself in
So
a five-year deal, man.
I was covering that area because it was very convenient for me because I was living there as well, right? So I had 1-bedroom apartment, as I remember, in Creekside 18 building, right, for 48,000 dirham, 4 checks. So,
Whoa. What
and it was a
floor?
brand new
What floor?
14.
14th floor.
Yeah.
How much is that now? It should
I
easily 75,
oh no,
80,000.
more.
More?
I think that's like we're looking at the moment from like 85 to 100,000 dirham. Yeah, so it's double the price. Yeah. My friend, I had a friend also was staying in Creekside 18A. He was on 45.
Okay, how much
So,
was he paying?
so 45,000. I
45,000.
was on 48. He was on 45. So it's insane. And he's still living in the area. He took Creek Beach 90 at the moment.
Wow.
So,
Wow. And I remember back then, Creek Beach, we were selling for 1 million. And some of the units were going for below 1 million with 5 years post handover, 3 years service charge waiver. Right now, the cheapest thing you can buy in Creek Harbor, that's off plan, is around 1.4.
For
And
one bedroom.
For one bedroom. And anything that's ready is like around 1.6 and goes up to 1.8 if you're in the front row.
I had 1.3 for two bedroom.
1.3 for two bedroom. It's crazy. It's crazy how the market has changed, seriously. And like we had a prediction that it would go up, but not to this extent, because I remember back then, for example, nowadays MR agents, they're only in the office, but back then the MR agents were never in the office because they were always at viewings because they had so many units. And when I wanted to go for viewings in Creek Harbor or Dubai Hills, they'd give me a bag full of keys, or they'd tell me to go to the building reception and pick any unit that you want for a viewing. And right now MR more or less sells out on every launch. It's interesting to see how the market has developed in the past 4 years. And even ourselves, back then you were working in Creek, you were the specialist, and then after that you went to the developer for some while, and now our paths have crossed again, and you're with us at Primo
Well, we
Capital.
finally worked together, you know.
Yeah, finally. We spoke about it for 4 years, and finally we're together now.
4 years ago, we tried to work together, close some deals together, and now we're finally working on the same side.
That's good.
Yeah, that's very good.
See, they say, soulmates, eventually they will meet.
Yeah.
But how was working at the developer for you?
Oh, it's lovely. It's very good experience. I really enjoyed it. I feel really, really good about those guys. Even if I left, we still having a very strong relationship with that company.
Is it fine to say the company name?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Gulfland Property Developers.
Gulfland Properties,
Yeah.
with the Lamborghini project. That was a
Tonino
very, very
Lamborghini
beautiful
project.
project.
Yeah. No. The guys are top notch. Absolutely. I mean, from A to Z, they are. I don't want to say startup developer, or because they've been for a past few years in the market, right? But now, since I shifted from Gulfland back to brokerage, and I had a chance to meet many other developers,
Right.
similar scale, I would say, as a Gulfland. I must say that they extremely professional.
Definitely, and I've been to your office multiple times. Like your previous office in Mashrak Tower. Really, you had a beautiful office, and even the launch of the Lamborghini, it was quite lovely. We had Mr. Lamborghini himself come on stage. We had some magic shows. So they did a lot, and they revamped themselves, because prior to that, Gulfland was known for more or less Paradise Hills, which is in the same area as Damak Lagoons, and they had some villas there and townhouses, right?
Yeah,
and then
correct.
they suddenly revamped themselves. So how is it now that you're back in the market as a broker as opposed to a developer representative?
It's good. I mean, that was the plan. I knew that eventually will happen, right? Because, it's just it was a temporary. I knew it was just a stop, to get more experience. Also, it's at some point more stability. Obviously, not more work, because you have to do either brokerage or development. You have to do tons of work, right?
Correct.
But when it comes to experience, it was really good. Get to know, of course, every place you go, you get to know the different people, different mentality, different way of working. Obviously, development is slightly different way of working, which is dealing mostly with the brokers, and when you're broker yourself, you you dealing mostly with the clients and
Correct.
bringing to to developers.
Yeah, that's
So
true. And I believe, I feel like you picked the most challenging times to be in the market to be a broker. In 2021, you were working as a broker where the market was just picking up. And now when the market is exploding with brokers, so you picked two extremely challenging times to come and become a broker in the market.
I would say, well, and yes and no, and I will tell you why. Because when I just started real estate uh, back in 2019, if I'm not mistaken now, or 2020, right? It was many brokers. It was thousands of brokers.
I think it was around 9,000 back then.
Okay, well, is a massive number, right? Anyway, but we had much less, of developers.
Correct. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
I
now
think
when you look,
1/10 the developers we
yeah,
have now.
it was. I mean, I wouldn't say you can count on your fingers.
Shoba
but
was considered a small developer then.
yeah,
It was a boutique developer back then. Ellington was even smaller.
and now, and correct me if I'm wrong. Every 48 hours we get a new launch and like
I've lost track.
there is so many developers
Yeah.
that I mean simply you scroll your phone, right? Just reading some news and whatever, and you pretty much every day seeing something, right? We even share to each other, me and you and with other colleagues that, do you know this? Because I never seen before, right? I mean, it gets a bit funny in some way.
True.
And some of them are so similar that people are starting discussion. Wait, hold on a second. I saw something like that in Sharjah, right? And no, wait, this is in Dubai. Oh, at least it's in Dubai, right?
Yeah, at least.
I mean,
True. Yeah, man. There's so many developers, so many launches, so many agents. Like, back in 21, 22, I could keep track of every single launch that's coming from, like, let's say 20 developers. Like, it was easy to, yes, in 1 month Nakhil is launching, in 3 months MR is launching, Damak is coming with a new master community. Now, for example, Bengati. Bengati, until end of the year, they plan on launching a new project every week. And Bengati does not launch small. Same thing with Damak. Same thing with MR. MR is launching 2-3 projects every month. Bengati is launching every week. And Damak is just like, we're all in. We're not launching a building. We're not launching 100 villas. We're giving you master communities every month.
Yeah.
And along with
Crazy.
all the small developers. You're right. Every day I open my phone, there's like 10 new developers I've never even heard of before. So it does become a bit challenging when it comes to products. There's so many things going around right now. You got to stay focused. But once again, I always tell everyone, in times like this, we had similar market, let's say in 2014, and then prior to 2007 and 2008. In the market like this, stick to your basics. Stick to your Patex APs and Rolexes. Meras, Nakhil,
good stuff to stick to.
Nakhil, Meras, MR, the strong developers, the big ones. Shoba too, I'd consider him a big developer now,
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
I'm actually very curious, Since we have so many developers these days, right? And the main ones are not the secret, are, let's say, Imar, Nakhil, Meras, well, under the Dubai properties. Dubai Holding,
Yeah.
right? Shoba. So, for example, when you have a budget from the client, let's not specify, but do you specifically picking from those major players, or you going for some smaller developers because it's more suitable for their budget, or you trying to push to get them the best product possible in Dubai's market?
See, the question you asked, Montas, is very general, right? It's a very ambiguous question, but I'll try to answer it to my best knowledge, right? First and foremost, it's what the client requires, right? This is the most important thing. What is he? An investor? He's an end user. Even when he's an investor, he wants to buy to sell later, he wants to buy to rent out, he wants to refinance. There's so many situations. But normally how I operate is I always try to give them what they want first, and along with that, my recommendation. And obviously, I'd stick to good products from good developers. But this doesn't necessarily mean that for example, Meras, one of my favorite developers, one of the most profound in the market with best returns, doesn't mean it necessarily matches what he's looking for, what to do with his money. And sometimes doesn't necessarily mean the product from Meras is the best product in general, right? Because every developer has good products and every developer has not so good products.
Correct.
So once again, we try to cater to the client's needs. But even if I have to shift away from the big guys into smaller boutique developers, I once again try to go with what I know is established in the market. Ellington, Shoba, Iman, for instance. Things that I know have handed over, have exceptional returns, have exceptional quality, and people haven't had difficulties with. So once again, I don't plan on staying in this market for a year or two. I've been here all my whole life, and I will provide services to this client for the rest of my life if I have to. And I have to be able to sleep well at night and make sure that he stays with me for the long term. So
Correct.
always I will give him what's best for him and what suits his requirements the most.
Yeah, and the reason, obviously, the reason why I ask you, because also I wanted to add some more to this, because these days what I've noticed that many brokers, and I feel really sorry for the clients who caught with such a people, right? I mean, no offense to anyone, of course, but you know, people often, especially the first-time buyers who had no experience with the brokers, with the brokerage firms, they just stick to the first or the second guy, and he sees, okay, well, the client is not the one who knows everything inside out. So if they, let's say, even start to offer one of those big guys, right? Mm-hmm. And okay, the price is not suitable, maybe the sizes, maybe the location. So they're pushing for something really that is just to make that sale, which is what I'm trying to say to my clients. Yeah, you rather take some time, don't be in a rush. As I said to many clients already from my side, that you saving that money, your lifetime savings, you doing this future home which you're going to have if you're an end user for the rest of your life, let's say, or your kids are inherit, once time will come. So don't go for something which is even gonna go lower in price.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. So like I said, is this kind of message I don't know the way how to spread to everyone, right? But I think it would be so helpful and suitable for especially first-time buyers to have this alert message that, first of all, I mean, don't postpone 6 months now, if you listen this,
He's shooting himself in the foot,
Of course, but really, like, better slightly more expensive, right?
Right.
And for very well known to the market, right? Then just to buy.
Correct.
Whatever.
Right. So yesterday, Mantas, I told my client, I will not sell you this. Like, I will not sell you this product. You can go and buy it from someone else. And I'll tell you exactly what I'm talking about. So back to your point, you need to know the client very well. Like yesterday, my client thought that he had around 1.2 or 1.3 million. I was with him last night, and I'm going to bring him on the show later on as well. But yesterday, he thought he had 1.2, 1.3 million of financing, whereas I figured out he has 1.7 because he miscalculated the unit that he's selling. And he told me that there's this developer, and I'm going to take something on the podium unit. I told him, don't take on the podium unit. He's like, why? I told him, because podium units, based on my experience, are the slowest renting, the slowest selling, and they're just dead stock. And even I opened the developer's app for him, and I showed him, look, everything that's remaining is either on mezzanine or on podium. This is not the unit. He's like, yeah, but the other agent told me for short-term rent, the developer agent, for short-term rent, it's excellent because it's directly on the pool. Everyone wants that. I'm like, look, I'll make it very simple for you. I'm telling you it's not good, and I'm showing you the facts for it. If you want to buy this, go buy it from the other agent. I'm not selling this to you. I'm very sorry. And he was shocked by this. He's like, okay, now he's listening. He's listening. Yeah. And I offered him something else. And I told him, look, this developer is giving me 7% commission. On this unit that I'm selling you, it's a distressed deal, I'm making 2% commission. Why would I take away 4% from my own pocket if I'm trying to mess with you?
Yeah.
right? So when you know your client this well and you're this comfortable with them, they will believe you. And what happened eventually is we actually went back to that developer. I called the developer and I told him I want 2 units. The 2 units would have cost 2 million. And I told him, no, I want 15% discount. My client has the cash and he'll pay it upfront now. So I managed to get him a 15% discount, and I managed to get him hidden inventory because of my relation with the developer. These are the kind of brokers that you need. So now the net cost per unit for him is around 850,000, which is a lot better than 1 million, because he's jumping into the market with 15% discount on each unit. And we even forgot the other distressed deal that I offered to him, because this is in an up and coming area. So have your client's best interest in mind. And really, I wouldn't have cared if I sold him something for 2% commission instead of 7 or 8%, because I know this guy will stay with me for life.
They don't know this. Most of the people, they have no idea when it comes to commissions that the agent's receiving, because if you, I mean, obviously that's not the way, but if you would go and tell to each of your clients that you most of the time actually offering the stock, which is gives you to your personal pocket less money, maybe they would really maybe that would be the way for them to believe that you're actually not trying to just to do that sale.
But not in every case. See, this client I'm very close with. I've been working with him for 3-4 months, and this happened once again in the beginning when I got introduced to him. He was a referral. And he's my friend, like, really, he's not my client. He's genuinely my friend. I hang out with him once or twice a week, regular basis. And this is when he really liked me, because he told me, I have a townhouse in this area and I want to sell it. You want to list it for me? I told him no. He's like, why not? I told him I'm not the area specialist. If you give this unit to me, it will take a lot longer for you to sell and you'll get the shorter end of the stick. I told him, I guided him on how to go to Property Finder. I showed him how to find area specialists. I told him, list it with these guys, not with me. He's like, are you sure? I told him, look, I'll still try to sell it, but don't waste the listing on me. And he loved how honest I was.
Yeah.
And I told him, don't worry, I'll help you every step of the way. I checked all of his contracts for him, his MOUs with MR. And this is what kept him with me. Because once again, I'm not after my pocket. End of the day, if I treat him well, I get the benefit from it. But the first and foremost priority is I treat him well.
Yeah.
And I know he's worked hard for that money. And last night what I told him is that I told him, look, you bought at 1 million. You're selling at 2.2 million. You've only paid 600,000 till now, and you're making 1.2 million net profit. You have a golden opportunity. Right? You have something people work 10, 20 years for. Don't waste this on hopes and promises. Look at numbers. I showed him everything clear. I have nothing to hide. I showed him real transactions. I showed him the pricing. I showed him my commission, everything. And then he's convinced. And tomorrow he's coming with me to the developer to hopefully take the sweet, sweet deal that I've made for him. And I told the developer also, I'm not coming for 15% tomorrow. I'm coming for 20% discount for my client. And I don't care if they tell
Smart.
me no, because I take him somewhere better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is how you should deal with your clients. Build this relation with them. Even our boss, Puya, he talks to his clients like they're his friends. They really believe. They call him. They're like, I have this amount of money. What do we do with it, Puya? Straight away they ask him that. And with time, when you progress, you've been back in as a broker for how long now? Like 6 months.
Yeah, something like that. A bit less than that.
6 months. Like I tell this to every new agent, when you progress, you get this comfortable with your clients. You filter them. Clients that are difficult, normally I don't deal with them when they're problematic. And I just handpick my clients, the ones that are good to deal with. They listen to me. They take my advice. I stick to them. And that's enough for me.
Well, to add to this, I had this conversation actually with the Puya myself that, what he said and mentioned, and it was a while back. Let's not forget that. That you have to go through all these hills. I would say that to meet those clients that is just, let's say, playing with you. I don't want to say using, because you have a hope, or you're trying to deliver to him. You working behind the scenes with the developers and trying to pull the best deal for him or discount, etc. But you have to. It's never going to be 100%. Every shot is a hit, right?
True.
So you have to get those and people who's playing with you on some. No, I mean, on a certain.
It happens.
in the field, of course. And yeah, so I think you eventually you become armed. You build this armor around you that you completely
You see through it.
yeah.
It comes with it. That's why I mentioned again, like with time, it comes to every broker. You have that clarity. Speaking of Puya, one thing I really like about him is how straightforward and honest he is.
Completely.
Um,
Like there is no questions
no,
asked,
like another one of our agents, we had a meeting with him a few days ago. He brought in a client that was selling his villa in address Hillcrest in Dubai Hills. And he was selling for a very good price, and he just wanted a quick exit, still in profit, but he wanted a quick exit. And he was reluctant to list it with us. And what Puya told him, see, I learn something from everyone every day. Doesn't matter if it's the developer agent, my own agent, or my boss. I learned something. So he told him that if you want to sell this unit at this price, you need to give an exclusive listing. And he said, no, I've tried with listings. I've given it to 3 agencies already. It hasn't worked. But he's like, that's specifically the problem. He's this direct with someone who has the capacity to buy a 24, 25 million dirham villa. He's like, that is specifically the problem. The transactions have picked up. He showed him the Dubai, the property monitor. And he's like, look, this month alone, in the past 2 months, 10 units were sold. Why was your unit not among them?
Mm-hmm.
Where is the problem? And he's like, I'll tell you what the problem is. You give it to 3 brokers. All 3 brokers know that it's listed with other brokers. And they know it's not exclusive, so they will not put the effort into it. That company will not put the budget to make your ad a premium ad. So he told him, as a final note, if you want to work with us, give it to us on a premium. We'll spend the money. We'll market it. This agent here will dedicate his time to your unit, and this is how you will get the results. So I could see for the first time that the client's appearance and his demeanor changed, and now he was under our control because no one told him this truth. What do you think happened with this client when he went to another broker and told him, I have a 24 million dirham unit that I want you to sell? What do you think the response was? Yeah, give it to me. I'll list it for you, man. It's okay. I'll do it for you. He did not check if this this agent is the area specialist, if he knows how to deal with these kind of units. Just straight away, yeah, give it to me, I'll sell it for you. And the agent takes the photos, lists it, and forgets about it, waits for someone to click on the ad. It's not the right way to work.
Absolutely. I mean, you explain everything. What I've noticed from my side that people not intend to give very often exclusivity, right? Unless friends and your very good friend is a broker and you know him very well and you know he's doing well, because not necessarily even the people they immediately give exclusivity. Why? Because in their heads it's that if I'm gonna give to 2 or 3 people, I'm increasing my chances to sell my unit as soon as possible.
Right, which is wrong.
Period.
If
right?
you have the same villa with the same photos, all listed at 2 million, what difference does it make?
Well, you see, okay, so now is the different point. Because when you look at the apartments and when you look at the villa, is two completely different things. Not because it's apartment and villa, but because apartments you have in the same building, let's say it's 25 floor building, you have a 25 each layout, 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom, let's say more or less, right? But the villa, it could be the one of a kind, exclusive, upgraded, done by someone, by a special designer, or or someone who owns the villa but have a very good or interesting, unique understanding how he wants to be, and then he decided to sell it, right? So villa, like, and this is also another thing I wanted to add about those shows that you see on the Netflix, for example, that Selling Sunset and all that. I know is a bit just skip that part about the relationship that happens on the show. But what is very interests me that people are fighting to get listing and doing a lots of things to pull the listing, and once they pull the listing, it's pretty much done deal. It's barely happened. Well, as far as I understood, that it barely happened that they're not selling because listing is the most important, right? In Dubai, forget apartments, villa. It's because you have a listing of the villa, it's not necessarily is a done deal, right?
No,
right?
no, like there's so many things that go into it. The price, the quantity, your photos, the listing quality, whether it's on ads or not, how many agents have. There's so many factors that go into it. But this is the thing, like the whole point is this, like it shouldn't be that the client gives you an exclusive listing because he's your friend or he knows you for a long time. No, it should be a logical analysis. The same way Puya did a logical analysis and explained to the client that when you have it listed with 3 brokers, the brokers are not focused on it, they're not working on it, and no one's willing to spend that extra money to put adverts on your unit. This should be the reasoning for the client as well. Pick a good broker who's an area specialist, give it to him exclusively for 2 months, and give him a list of demands. Mr. Mantas, I'm giving you this villa, and my price is fair. Based on our discussion, this price you believe that will sell within 2 month period. And when I'm giving this to you in return exclusive, I want you to work on this, dedicate time on it, take some good photos, keep revamping the listing, and spend some money to market it. Because end of the day, if it's a 24 million dirham villa, you're going to cover more, a lot more than your marketing costs. This should be the relation between a client and a broker.
And what do you think what it takes the agent to pull such a listing and get exclusivity? Because that's very important point that, okay, like imagine someone is, okay, well, calling landlords, meeting someone.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think personally? What it takes for the agent to pull the listing of 25 million villa?
Now, are we talking about finding someone with the listing, or once you found him, convincing him to give you the listing? It's two different things.
No, once you found it, to convince him
How
to
do you
get it.
convince him? So normally with high tickets like this, by the way, the richer and richer the clients are, normally the easier and easier they're to deal with, right? And just like you said,
Surprisingly, right?
they've been through enough hills and they can see right through you. Don't ever think the guy sitting in front of you with a 25 million dirham villa doesn't know what he's doing. Somehow he's made that money, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
Maybe he has 5 of them.
he can see right through you. I'll go back to the example of Puya. When Puya sits in front of him, the client, and doesn't matter if Puya has more money than him or less money than him, he talks to him as an equal. He talks to him like a friend, a buddy, like, look, buddy, this is what you got to do, and you will sell it in this amount of time, interested or not. Straight away to the point. No, Mr. Mantas, please give me your unit. No, Mr. Mantas.
Saves time for
I
both.
can do this for you, Mr. Mantas. Look,
Yeah.
this is the reality of the situation. If you want to sell it in this amount of time, you do 1, 2, 3. You want to work with me? Let's work. Straight to the point. Be different. All the other brokers will be like mooching up to the guy, kissing his hand, but no, just straight to the point, and he sets himself apart. He's like, I'm not interested to sell this. You're the one who wants to sell this. You need my service to sell this.
Yeah.
So that's how you normally build relations with clients like this. Be accurate with your information. Most of the time you have one chance with these clients. You say a number wrong, you're done, right? Be accurate with your timelines, with your information. Have good knowledge about the guy's unit. You need to know the in and outs of his unit. You need to know things about his unit and his community that he doesn't know, right? And the next point is be straightforward with him. Knowledge, honesty with clients like this. So Mantas, Lithuanian clients, how do they get to hear about Dubai? What are their sources to know about our market here and make a smart purchase?
Well, I think social media is one of the main thing. Nowadays, recently start getting many questions, and people, Lithuanians, reach out to me on platforms like Instagram. We also developed a website that with most of the exciting projects that the people are start getting more and more visit and inquire regarding the certain project and and all that information. But also recently saw many more Lithuanian agents appeared who even shifted from Lithuania and became a specialist.
Right.
And for me, this is so hard to believe and
So
understand.
they just moved here completely and then
Well,
they became agents.
I came across a couple of people, and don't get me wrong, actually joined the good companies, decent companies, real estate companies, but eventually became a specialist. So for me, it was like, well, okay, you cannot technically be selling Dubai real estate when you here for past 6 months.
And you're already a specialist.
And I mean, a specialist I just came up with, but you know, acting as like, you know, client meetings, events, all that kind of stuff. I understand. Yeah, well, you go in, you get to know more info, knowledge about Dubai, all that. But the question is, the main question, how people from my country can caught up on something like someone completely fresh in the market, because you making that first purchase in the country, in the city that you never been before, maybe even, right? And you already starting with someone who's been here for 6 months or for even a year. The market, this city is one of the fastest, not only growing, but one of the fastest pace having city, right?
Right. Changing, fastest
so
developing.
It's every day something new, sometimes in hours, right?
So basically, you're talking about protecting Lithuanian clients' interests.
Absolutely,
and
absolutely.
It's very important for you, because not only are they from your country, but just generally speaking, you value Dubai and what it stands for. So you don't like people coming here and being misinformed, or working with people who are not very specialized, although they label themselves as specialists.
100%.
Okay.
100%. I mean, I was in shock.
So
honestly.
guys, to summarize what Mr. Mantas is saying, he's just saying anyone who comes from Lithuania has to work with him, and we'll plug his phone number on the bottom of this video as well.
Well, not necessarily, but, you know, pay a little bit more attention towards that, what agent you pick in, where the agent is working.
But how should they know this? Like, I'm an agent, you're from Lithuania, you've never been to Dubai, you don't know anything about it, and I tell you I have 10, 15 years of experience. How do you verify this? What can you do? Where can they access? Who can they talk to?
Every broker can be verified by his license. So basically, every broker can be verified by his RERA license on Dubai Land Department.
Okay.
Right? And simply check how many years his company active, how many years he's active, right? That would be official way of doing it.
And that's the starting point. And to educate yourself more, you can check out their company website, their socials, their Google reviews. So this is general for all clients to verify.
There is a multiple ways, but the point is that, you know, you have to do a little research who you're buying with, not only necessarily the person who's taking a picture next to Burj Khalifa and saying I'm a you know, specialist in
Mantas seems
Dubai
to be very
estate.
salty. I feel like someone stole his client from him last week.
No one stole my client, and I'm not saying there people are not talking to me, or I'm not getting a specific clients who's interested in this or that, you know. But it's just like, no, it came across my path that I started seeing people fresh in Dubai and experts. So they're Lithuanians. This is message for all of you.
Lithuanian, man.
Please be careful.
At first, I was worried he's going to have me end up in jail, but I know Lithuanians. Now we both have a target on our back. Thank you, Mr. Mantas.
No, seriously, just to summarize this, right? Do your research, right? Do your research, and of course, obviously, because I'm working in this field in real estate in Dubai, you know, for me it would be easier to just to have a basic conversation with someone, with some agent, and realize, is that the person I would like to deal or no?
And nowadays, majority of the cases, the answer is
no.
Thank you very much, Mantas, for your time. As always, it's been a pleasure. Good to have you back on board, my friend. And thank you guys so much for tuning in to us. And we'll be seeing you on the next episode. Make sure you leave likes and comments on our videos so we can keep bringing you amazing, amazing content.
Thank you.